walked off in game 1 in 10 innings, 3-2. They lost last night, 8-7 in 15. Huge win for the Nationals. They're trying to keep their faint playoff hopes alive, and with the exception of Ryan Zimmerman and Wilson Ramos, they have their A lineup in there in the rubber game of the series. Denard Span leads off their Toyota starting nine with Rendon batting and playing second. Bryce Harper's back in there in left field hitting third. Jason Worth has been the hottest Nationals hitter. He's had a good series. He cleans up and is in right field. Adam LaRoche hit the game-winning homer last night. He's at first base. Then it's Desmond, Chad Tracy at third base, Kurt Suzuki behind the plate, and left-hander Gio Gonzalez will pitch and hit ninth.
Right-hander Julio Teheran on the mound for the Braves, 9-6 on the year. You see his last 9 starts, 6-3 with a .280 area, averaging 6 innings a start. That's probably the most important number right there for the Braves today, is to get those innings.
And that is part of his 4 keys to pitching success today. They would love for him to roll a 7 innings or more would be outstanding for the bullpen today, and be smart. As we just saw in that meeting at home plate, it's pretty clear that Wally Bell, the crew chief's not going to put up with a lot of nonsense today. So be smart. Don't get yourself in a spot where you risk being ejected from this ball game early because of what's taken place already this weekend.
Let's check out the defense behind Teheran tonight, or today I should say. And Joe, the special challenges for the outfielders today. As much rain as this field has taken, it's got to be treacherous footing for Gaddis, Upton, and Tardasilovic in the outfield.
They had the squeegees working on the grass out behind the area between first and second and between short and third. Tremendous amount of water standing there. There are some drains that they were pushing the water into, but that area right behind the infield, really all the way around the infield, is going to be pretty treacherous.
Defensively, the Braves have been very good. They've made just 6 errors in their last 21 games as a club. Wally Bell's behind the plate. Figure he'll have good judgment if anything comes close to the hitters today, Tommy, as you look at Jordan Baker, Marty Foster, and Marvin Hudson on the base paths.
Yeah, I think Wally's a good guy to have behind home plate today. Like we've talked about, you hate to put the interpretation card in an umpire's hands, but I think Wally has a good sense for what's going on and a good sense for the flow of the game. So I don't think it'll be the kind of thing where guys are afraid to pitch inside today.
And so our day begins with a called strike to Denard Span. A 39-minute delay at the start. And 73 degrees for Teheran's first pitch. And way high to Span evens the count.
Other thing to keep an eye on, too, I know it's a little bit different in today's game, but this would be a game that typically, back in my day, boys get in the batter's box and swing the bat. A couple of long nights. We got more weather coming. They're going to try and get this game going and moving fast.
Looping fly ball out of reach of Gosselin, and Denard Span has a leadoff single. And the Nationals leadoff man is aboard here in the first.
Last year there were 6 rain delays all season long at Turner Field. Today marks the 5th in this 9-game homestand.
This is the final game of the homestand, an off day, travel day tomorrow. We go to New York and then on to St. Louis. So if you like hot weather, we're going to see plenty of that next week on the road. Here's Rendon, and he looks low at ball 1. Rendon's been on base 16 consecutive games for the Nationals. Last night was 1 for 6, walked twice, and scored a couple of runs. As always with Teheran, opposing base stealers have to be aware of a terrific pickoff move to first base.
Yeah, Span got picked off last night, and if he thought Medlins was quick, he ain't seen nothing yet.
Popped up shallow right. Long run to Tardasilovic. Gosselin on the run as well, and he can't make the play. Phil just gained about 5 pounds. He picked up all that dirt in his back pocket.
Almost got there. That would have been a tremendous catch.
1-1 to Anthony Rendon. Almost got him again.
Freddie thought he got him. But he was back.
Two balls and a strike.
Most pickoffs in the majors, most in team history by a right-hander. And then that amazing one, the one we can't figure out, is Charlie Huff having the most in one season. That's a major league record.
I would not have guessed him.
Well, thank goodness that's not the trivia question. 3 balls and a strike to Rendon. Bryce Harper's on deck. Jason Worth in the hole for the Nationals. They begin play 8.5 back in the wild card. This man is running and the pitch is high, ball 4. So the first 2 Nationals are aboard to start the game. They've been busy in the first inning in each of the first 2 games of this series.
That's why the game started last night. Infield hit, a walk. And Toronto just doesn't walk many guys.
And obviously the first time Tehran and Harper have squared off since their meeting in Washington. Wally Bell had a word for Harper as he dug in the batter's box too. Low, ball 1. Harper was the only man to score in that game on August 6th. Tehran pitched a beauty. 6 innings of 1-run baseball, 4 hits. One of them a 1-out solo homer by Bryce Harper in the 3rd inning. Braves won that game 2-1. Good cut, fouled back. 1 ball, 1 strike. "17 home runs for Bryce Harper this year." Tehran ahead of him with a 94-mile-an-hour fastball.
That's a high number for Julio. It's usually around 92, 93, even below that.
A strikeout would be nice here. 1 ball, 2 strikes. A soft fly ball to left. Gaddis is in. And Evan puts that away. Harper's retired for the first out.
We had a term for guys, mostly like me, but that are in the lineup today. The shock troops are in there for some action across the board for the Braves lineup. But I asked Freddie Gonzalez before the ball game about Freddie Freeman playing, and he said, "You know, I called Freddie this morning, see how he felt. I was going to sit him today too, and he said, no, I feel good. I want to play." So even after a short night, Braves leader in RBIs, and pretty much been carrying the team all year off and on, is in there anyway.
What a run for Jason Worth, the player of the month in July. As Tom said last night, he might win it in August too with the bat.
He is certainly staking his claim for it for another month.
He's got a 9-game hitting streak, 2 homers, 9 RBIs, and 12 runs scored during that stretch. And couldn't stop himself, and Tehran's ahead of him with 2 strikes. by Worth. Will do it again. 0-2. Davy Johnson on the right, Randy Knorr on the left. This is Davy Johnson's final season as the manager of the Nationals. A little low, 1 ball, 2 strikes.
The next highest average to Worth this month, he's hitting .521. Is Andrew McCutchen at .451, so he's 70 points higher than anybody else.
One-two pitch. Buzz the tower inside. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Good pitch. He's been covering everything so well. Middle of the plate away when he's been behind in the count. Got to keep him honest.
Yeah, you got to do something to get him off that outside corner if that's where you want to go to try and get him out.
Worth came out of the game last night after 8 innings. When the battle of the bullpens began, and Tehran got him. Is that a cutter at 93?
That was a fastball.
Late movement, it looked like, at the plate. Worth tipped it into Laird's glove.
She was gassed, and he was a little late on it.
I think after the fastball in, he might have been looking slider away, and Tehran doubled up with the fastball.
So his first strikeout of the day. Runners first and second for Adam LaRoche. Bouncing ball to first. Tehran is out of trouble. The first 2 Nationals reach, but they were left stranded. Bottom of the first inning. B.J. Upton leads off for Atlanta. Just underway. Braves bats go to work. Left-hander Gio Gonzalez is on the hill. And a very different look to Freddie Gonzalez's Toyota starting lineup. B.J. Upton's back hitting first. Phil Gosselin at second. Freeman, Gaddis, and Johnson, the heart of the order. Gerald Laird catching. Tardoslavich, Janish, 7th and 8th with Tehran batting ninth.
Left-hander Gio Gonzalez, 7-5 on the year, and just has not had much success against the Braves this year. 0-3 with a 5 ERA against the Braves this year. So hopefully that will bode well for the Mudders out there today.
And his keys to success, again, off the heels of that. Maybe the 5th time is the charm. This is the 5th start, looking for his first win against the Braves this year. And who are these guys? I'm not sure this is the lineup he expected to face when he came into this series.
Yeah, I guess I guarantee he did a little cramming when he got in here this morning and saw the lineup.
I was going to ask you, mentally, I'm sure he was preparing for maybe McCann or whomever. 15-inning game, I'm sure, changed that thought process. But how do you prepare for a lineup like this, Tom?
Well, it's hard. I think you prepare for probably what the lineup was the last time you faced them, or the most consistent lineup, and then you figure out when you show up the next day, and that's not it.
He knows B.J. Upton, who's leading off for the Braves today. Upton at 188. And Freddie Gonzalez has said his center field situation is not a platoon, but a matchup. He likes the right-handed bat against the left-hander leading off today. Gonzalez just missed. Full count.
Gio throws hard. His fastball in the mid-90s with a curveball and a change. 21-game winner last year. With a 2.89 ERA, outstanding year his first year in Washington.
But not nearly as many runs of support. As Upton pops one down the right field line, Worth will get chase and won't have a play. In fact, Nats press notes say his run support is down 34% from last year when he won 21 games.
He pitched a good game 2 starts ago against the Braves in Washington. He hooked up with Tehran. Gio went 7 innings and gave up 2 runs. You might remember those 2 runs were the hit by Gaddis when he'd come in to fill in for Hayward.
And Gonzalez walks Upton to start the game.
It's good at bat to start the game for BJ.
Let's see if he's put in play here. Left-hander on the mound for Gosselin. First major league start. It's been a series of firsts for him. His major league debut. That was a defensive effort. Got his first major league at bats last night. Today's his first major league start. So, Tom, what's missing?
Well, first major league hit, but looks like they were in a little bit of a sacrifice mode right there. Not surprising. Early in the game and bad weather coming, you try to get that lead.
BJ's running. Good jump. The throw to second will be way late.
Smart read by Gosselin too. If the bunt was still on or something else was on, he saw what a huge jump BJ got and he took the pitch. That was heads up play by Phil. No chance for Suzuki.
$11 steals for B.J. Upton. Gosselin got the bat out of the way there. 2 balls and a strike. It is raining again. Ever so lightly. There's the bunt, and it's a beauty. Gosselin beats it out, his first major league hit.
That's not a typical way of getting your first big league hit, but he comes in an effort to help the ball club by moving a runner over, and he gets a hit on top of it. So good for him, and congratulations to Phil Gosselin out of the University of Virginia. Great form.
Yeah, perfect execution, and like you say, play the game the right way, try to do the right thing, and good things will happen.
So now Freeman and Gaddis can wail away. First and third, and inside with a breaking ball. 1 ball, no strikes. One of the many things, fellas, you have to love about Freddie Freeman is his good work against left-handed pitching. Soft tossers, hard throwers, they don't bother him. He's hitting lefties at a .290 mark so far this year. And he improves that with an RBI single. 1-0 Atlanta. Freddie Freeman, his 82nd run batted in.
Fastball down and away. Covered it.
Yep. Like Chip said, stays on that pitch so well against left-handed pitchers and just doesn't give any ground.
Well, here's the birthday boy, Evan Gattis, 27 years old today. Evans, the subject of our Georgia lottery, hitting the jackpot.
Showed you those outstanding numbers last night, the night before, while pinch hitting, and some comparable numbers against Gio.
Toward third. Oh, Tracy found that ball in the webbing, and the Nationals turn and around the horn double play. Looked like Chad was surprised that stuck in the glove.
Yeah, I think so.
I think that was the, did I, or, yep, it's there. Good.
Gosselin moves to third with 2 outs, and here's Chris Johnson. He's hitting .335. Talk about Iron Men on the ball club. Chris Johnson has to be mentioned with that description. Joe talked about Freddie Freeman saying he's good to go. Same for Chris. His last full off day was June 6th. The Braves were in Los Angeles. When you lead the league in hitting, you want to stay in the lineup. And Chris has an 8-point advantage over Yadier Molina of the Cardinals. Fly ball, shallow right. That'll get down for an RBI hit.
Magic wand. Joe Gosselin getting a lot of greetings in the dugout too after getting his first big league hit, scoring a run here in the first. Just fought off by Chris, dumped it out there.
That's just a nice piece of hitting and a hit as a pitcher that just drives you crazy.
That is one big difference between the season series last year and 2013. The dramatic turnaround in first inning runs scored. Last year, the Nationals had a huge advantage in that category. This year, Atlanta's really turned the tables, and turned the tables in the season series too. Tommy, really runs are always appreciated, aren't they?
Well, they are. I mean, it makes the starting pitcher's job a little bit easier. You see the turnaround that we were talking about, and you couple that with the great work that the Braves bullpen has been doing. I mean, it's been a great formula. Get an early lead, turn the game over to the bullpen, and it's been lights out.
2-strike pitch to Laird, and Gerald bounces to short. The flip to second is in time, and a very good first inning for Atlanta. Tehran gave up nothing in the top of the first. The Braves scored twice on 3 singles in the bottom half. Atlanta, Georgia, where the rain has once again begun to fall. Let's hope the weather improves. And that's a perfect segue to our Lowe's Never Stop Improving feature today.
That was a nice segue. Julio Teheran, you see his numbers before the All-Star break: 18 starts, 7-5. After the break, 5 starts, 2-1, but a great 2.1 ERA. And look at that opponent's batting average against. Great improvement there as well. So, as we've talked about with a lot of these young starting pitchers, they're growing up in a hurry and doing some special things.
And I think it's that's obvious from the beginning of the season to now, but think of the improvement he's made, the strides he's made since last season when he was really struggling in AAA. Randall Delgado beat him out for the 5th spot in the rotation at the beginning of the 2012 season.
Last year, Julio, some thought, really regressed as far as the numbers were concerned at AAA. Gwinnett.
Didn't he say there were some mechanical things that they tried to change and didn't work, and then he went back to winter ball and did his thing and kind of felt more comfortable again?
Yes, so that's true. And I think, too, the report was that he was paying way too much attention to the radar gun and trying to see how hard he could throw.
From a 15-3 season in 2011 at AAA to 7-9 last year and 18 home runs.
He's going to give up some homers. He's probably going to be high in that category virtually every year because he's around the plate. He just doesn't walk guys.
(16 walks in his last 11 games for Teheran. Now a 2-2 pitch to Desmond. And Tommy, is that the last step for a major league pitcher, going from thinking you belong to knowing you belong here?
Yeah, because I mean, you know, when you get the opportunity, you think you belong, but then you've got to prove it to yourself day in and day out, and that's the tougher challenge.
Low to Desmond, and he's got a full count. Popped up right side. Will that stay in play for Freddie Freeman? It won't.
Coming into the start this afternoon for Teheran, his last 66 innings pitched, he'd struck out 69 batters and walked only 16.
Ladder high, but too high for Wally Bell. And Desmond is aboard. That is the second walk for Teheran today.
Yeah, and Ian Desmond was a little slow walking too because he wasn't sure. Sherwin-Williams painting the corner says it did.
Well, maybe he can pick him off at first. Here's Tracy. In 1 ball, no strikes.
And that list of pickoffs and the fact that he leads all of baseball with 8. Anybody within shouting distance of him is a left-handed pitcher. The next closest is 5. Several guys with 5, and they're all left-handed.
Yeah, you typically think that a left-handed pitcher is going to lead the league in pickoffs.
Ball, 1 strike. And Tracy serves one into center field. That'll drop for a base hit. And for the second inning in a row, the Nationals put their first 2 runners on base.
Now that looked like a cutter chip. It wasn't a very good one. It even seemed to back up on him a little bit.
I don't know. Gerald was set up outside, so I don't know if he was trying to throw a backdoor cutter or maybe it was a changeup that backed up on him.
Well, it was 90 miles an hour. I'm going to think that he just messed up on a cutter trying to do a backdoor version of it.
Kurt Suzuki gets the start at catcher today. Well, both starting catchers last night were very impressive. Aaron McCann and Wilson Ramos. Both understandably get the day off today. Ball foul, 0-2 for Suzuki. Swing and a miss. Suzuki is down on strikes.
Kind of a mistake front door breaking ball right there. They're set up down and away, and he threw it on the inner half. But after following that last pitch off, I think he got fooled by the speed.
Gio bunts, and it's a little foul. Strike one. Nationals had a little tussle in their dugout last week in Gonzalez's last start. He was late getting to first base on a play over there, and as the inning ended, Jason Worth, jogging in, was talking to Gonzalez about that, and it got a little more heated in the dugout. Don't know if that relationship is still frosty or not, but an indication of how tense and tight things have been for the Washington Ball Club.
Well, after Bryce Harper got hit by Tehran in Washington, there were a couple of Washington veterans. I don't know if Worth was one of them, but they were very upset. Some would say embarrassed by the fact that Gio did nothing in defense of his player.
That's popped up, and Freddie Freeman in foul ground makes the play, and Gonzalez doesn't help himself. 2 outs and back to the top of the order.
And I don't know if you remember this, but in Cincinnati at Old Riverfront Stadium one day, I saw Terry Pendleton walk off the field when Marvin Freeman didn't do something to protect his teammates. Terry was playing third and did not appreciate the fact that somebody from the Braves had been plunked and there wasn't one in kind.
Span single to start the game. He looks at a called strike. It's now even 1-1. Mentioned earlier, we're off tomorrow. The Nationals travel after this game to Chicago. They open up a 4-game series with the Cubs at Wrigley Field tomorrow night. They wrap up their road trip next weekend in Kansas City. Something else interesting about the National schedule, they really could have an impact on the wild card race. They finish on the road with 3 in St. Louis and 3 in Arizona. This pitching staff,
we've got some games left with when the Braves are playing the Indians. I think they're playing Kansas City. They could have an effect on the American League wild card too.
If they can get a little closer to Arizona, those final 3 games of the year could be extremely important for Washington. So again, this is a very important game for Davey Johnson's club. You can understand why he aligned his lineup as he did today.
Yeah, they don't really have the luxury of giving too many guys days off. They're running out of days.
Two balls, two strikes for Span. Back to the screen. Do it again.
We've had that shot over there of Davey on the rail with Randy Knorr. There are people who are speculating that Randy Knorr could be the next guy in line to succeed Davey Johnson next year as manager.
Another name popped up earlier in the week, and that's Charlie Manuel, now that he's been let go by the Phillies. Two balls, two strikes. That's golfed down the right field line and foul. Span just missed a double. Popped up. Shallow center. B.J. Upton is under it, and he's got it. Tehran put the first two on again in the second inning and pitches out of the jam. He'll hit third in the second, and he leads 2-0.
It is exactly where it got squirrely last night with Steven Strasburg on the mound. Starting the second inning, he walked Jordan Schaefer on 4 straight pitches. Then the first of 3 consecutive wild to Anderson Simmons, including the last 2 behind him. Both benches had already been worn. Strasburg was tossed after that one. A run came home. No one really knew what to make of it. And after the game, Strasburg was able to clear it up.
Just couple of the long innings right before there. I just got a little cold and just missed some spots.
Was it a mechanical thing in the second inning? What do you kind of put the wildness on?
I can't really explain it. Just didn't really feel good out there, and couldn't hit the spot.
When Marvin Hudson ejects you in the second, regardless of how you were throwing, just because of what the situation was the last few days with the teams, you sort of understand why he did that, or I guess, how do you feel when that happens?
Sure, yeah, it makes sense.
And so clear as mud. This much is certain, though. When he hit Justin Upton after Jason Hayward's home run, that did earn him respect in the clubhouse. Randy Knorr said, if he decided to do it on his own, I'm proud of him. Adam LaRoche added, if another one got away from him, he's got my respect.
I just find it odd that he didn't debate any with Marvin Hudson on his ejection, whatever his motives were. I think by not arguing, he was pretty much admitting that, yeah, I was throwing at him and you should have thrown me out. I expected it. That's kind of the way it looked to me.
Also in that answer, he talked about, well, it just didn't feel good here at Turner Field. That's been a familiar refrain, huh?
It's either too hot or too cold here. We're going to have to figure out some climate control for Strasburg the next time he pitches here, I guess.
Would not have anticipated him saying it was too cold in August, but what are you going to do?
Goslovich with the base on balls to start the second. Gio Gonzalez has walked the leadoff man in the first 2 innings today. Paul Janisch, he's the shortstop today. Day of rest for Andrelton Simmons. Last night was quite obviously a very late night for all of us, the 15-inning game. Janisch started the day at second base. Shortstop today for Andrelton, who turned in maybe his best defensive play of the year, if not the best, one of the top 3. Watch this one.
Kind of stuff is beginning to get routine.
Yeah, I mean, the play at the bag was impressive, but equally impressive was the fact that he was on the move to third base for the bunt play, and then had to change directions, go the other way, get the ball, and then have the presence of mind to find the bag and turn a double play. And you see him taking off to third for the bunt play, and then whoop. Not a lot of shortstops are going to make that play.
Great play. Big league play.
1 ball and 2 strikes. We had another angle of the replay last night, and you could see in the background the third base coach, Trent Jewett, when Stammen put the ball in play, and he saw Simmons sprinting for the bag, and he stepped on the bag, and Jewett was almost looking like, you're kidding me.
Yeah.
How did you get there?
What just happened?
Two balls, 2 strikes for Janisch. That's back to the screen. Interesting homestand, to say the least, for Paul, getting a lot of playing time because of the injuries the Braves have endured on the infield. And he struck out looking for the first out. As Joe said, he's already a civic hero. He saved 2 wildlife creatures.
His community service. Yeah, Andrelton was supposed to get a day off the night that Pasternak got hurt. And that was right before an off day. And so today he will actually get 2 days off, provided everybody stays on the field. And again, I still think that that's much needed rest for him. And one of the reasons is obviously he's in there every day, but he's all over the field. You know, if you're playing left field or center field, you jog out and you play your position. He's all over the place trying to cover ground, back up bases. Andrelton never stops moving.
Julio punts it foul, 2 strikes. Raining a little harder now.
It's your imagination.
Yeah,
exactly.
Liquid sunshine. We were told around 1 o'clock that we might have a window of about an hour and 25 minutes or so. Hope was to get 5 innings in. We had a 39-minute rain delay, and we've had a couple of long innings early this afternoon.
Yeah, the first couple innings here have not really been conducive to a quick game.
5 hits, bunch of walks. Now Tehran swings and misses. He is out number 2. Back-to-back strikeouts for Gio Gonzalez. Braves fans, get the VIP treatment on our custom luxury coach, the Fox Sports South Fan Express. Book your seats today and travel in style to and from Turner Field. Check out foxsportsouth.com to find out how.
BJ had a good at bat, get the game going for the Braves. A long at bat, saw a lot of pitches, had some good swings at some pitches to foul them off and stay alive, and then drew a walk, stolen base, run scored.
You know, I think that's got to be his approach, really. I think you try. Sometimes you're in too much of a hurry to get yourself out of a hole, and at this point, obviously, for BJ, that's a big hole to get out of. But just do something productive every chance you get, and just kind of take incremental baby steps. You know, hope that each game that you're out there, if you do something productive and positive, it leads to another opportunity, and then you try to do something again, and you know, find yourself out there a little bit more often.
1 ball, 1 strike. You never really know what to say to a player who's struggling like BJ has struggled this year. And to his credit, when asked about it, obviously he's disappointed in his performance and understands what Freddie Gonzalez is trying to do. Says he'll be a good teammate, do what needs to be done. What I liked was the honest self-assessment, fellas, that if he were to argue for more playing time, and I want to be clear, he's not, he said, what is my argument? He doesn't have one, really.
His manager told me today that they've had several talks this summer regarding his lack of numbers, and he said, and he has been straightforward, BJ has, looks him in the eye and says, you know, you got to do what you got to do, and I understand.
Gonzalez thought that caught a corner. It missed.
I mean, it's a fine line as a player. You know, I mean, you don't want to struggle. You don't want to be on the bench. And when it happens, you know, you're vilified if you're too vocal about being upset about it. You're questioned if you're too okay with it. So I mean, it's a tough position to be in. But like you said, he's said all the right things, and you know, trust me, he's putting the work in. He wants to get out of it.
Runner goes, and Upton fouls that away.
Yeah, and another part of that is we read and see many times a player who's not going well, who gets benched, and that player complains and says, well, I'm not going to get out of it by sitting on the bench. You know, I'm not going to get better if I'm not playing, which is their way of complaining about being benched. Haven't heard that from BJ. He does get it.
Again, Terdoslavich runs, and again, BJ fouls it back.
There's about 6 weeks left in the season, and last year I was told and I heard that BJ for Tampa Bay almost single-handedly got them to the postseason with his work the last 6 weeks of the season. So there's plenty of time for him to really be a big contribution to the club the rest of the way.
And he takes a called third strike. Gonzalez painted the inside corner and struck out the side in the second. We head to the third. Julio Tehran and the Braves lead 2-0 on a soggy Sunday at Turner Field. Time for our Jaguar game summary.
Good work by all the Bravos at this point in time. Julio Teheran doing his thing. Gosselin with a nice single, his first major league hit. Freddie Freeman continues his good work against left-handed pitching with a base hit and an RBI there. And then Chris Johnson just serving one into right field and continuing to do his thing. Scored Gosselin, made it 2-0, and that's where we stand.
They kind of dropped that one right out there in squeegee land.
Let's see if Julio can have an easier time of it in the third. He's put the first 2 men on in each of the first 2 innings, but wiggled out of trouble.
Now, we've been talking about how they need innings out of him today, but he's taken 43 pitches through the first 2 innings. That's a lot.
And strike 1 to Rendon.
I would guess that, and I don't know this to be certain, but that Barbaro is unavailable tonight or this afternoon. He went 3+ innings last night. Avilan went 2 innings after pitching a third the night before. So those 2 guys might be unavailable. Everybody else just worked an inning last night. The only guy that really had a stressful 1 inning was Walden, who gave up the home run to Zimmerman.
And Rendon got hit by a pitch on a 1-2 count. So again, the Nationals have their leadoff hitter aboard.
Back of the elbow. Yeah, back of the arm.
Julio hits guys. That's his 13th. Now Harper bats. He was retired on a soft fly ball in the opening inning. That's high. 1 ball, no strikes.
I think Julio needs to be judicious about his pickoff attempts and try to work a little quicker in getting outs given the weather situation. He's got the lead. Need to get 4.5 in the books.
Yeah, he doesn't kind of follow the old mantra where you give him, you know, that first throw over there is kind of your B move. You give him something to look at, and then you come with your A+ move. He goes to A+ right away and then tries to go A++ on the one after. Sometimes maybe you can lull those guys to sleep, but with his reputation, they're being pretty careful.
There are some fans all over Bryce Harper.
Yep. Line drive left field. It's a base hit. Gaddis plays it cleanly. And again, 2 are on with nobody out, this time in the Washington 3rd inning.
Well, it's been a successful formula for him so far, but it's not the kind of game you want when you need innings out of your starting pitcher. It's stressful start to it, and yes, he's wiggled his way out, but the flip side is it gets that pitch count up there, and that pitch count takes even more of a toll when you're having to pitch these stressful innings. So
the 1, 2, 3 guys have gotten on a lot in front of Jason Worth, he's got another opportunity, this time in inning number 3. Worth struck out in the opening frame today. He rolls one foul past third, strike one. I guess this guy's as good a threat as anybody to think about the batting chase. He just doesn't have enough at bats to qualify, fellas, especially as hot as he's been over a 6-week period.
He's closing in on it, though. I mean, if he keeps playing every day, he'll catch up.
Nothing in 2 the count.
Gerald Laird, I'm not sure what he was doing with his mask, but he was trying to knock some dirt, I think, out of his cleats, and then he got the strap on his mask hung under his spikes and almost pulled himself straight down into the ground.
Fly ball right. Terdoslavich in the corner. And no play.
You think Jason looks at that picture that was taken before the beginning of the season with that Grizzly Adams look and laughs like he really put one over on everybody?
Either he laughs or what was I thinking?
Strike 3 called. Worth is caught looking.
Struck him out twice today, once swinging. And now Sherwin-Williams shows you that Wally Bell rings him up on one right on the line.
That's a good pitcher's pitch right there.
Ground ball would be welcome here. Roche bounced out his first time and takes a belt high strike.
Braves have had some success with Adam over the first 2 games of the series with breaking balls, especially on 3-2 counts, 2-0 counts. And then last night he got the better of Medlin on a breaking ball.
To that breaking ball or that change up here after that high fastball.
He did. Popped it up left side. Simmons long run. Battling the raindrops. Gaddis called him off and the ball drops. They got a forced play though at third. Excuse me, it's Giannis at short, not Simmons. I beg your pardon. And the ball dropped between Giannis and Gaddis, but the Braves got a force out of it. Could have been an infield fly too, fellas.
Well, it would have been in that same general area. First round of the playoffs last year, I know that. But I guess we won't go there, huh?
No.
Got the out. And Desmond hits. And takes outside. 1 ball, no strikes.
That might have been a situation where the soggy ground helped the Braves right there. That ball hit and just stuck right there for Giannis to pick it up.
Desmond walked and was stranded in the 2nd inning. And a bouncer to third. Easy play, and again Tehran pitches out of third inning trouble. He's been Harry Houdini today. He leads 2-0 with Gosselin, Freeman, and Gaddis coming up. First start, first big league game, and already his first big league hit today. Also scored a run in the 2-run first for the Braves. And a rocket up the middle. Gosselin's 2 for 2.
And he wants you to think all he could do is bunt. Moving a runner over from second to third, earned himself a hit on this excellent bunt the first inning. His first big league hit.
The ball's headed for the trophy case. And his first big league hit, our SunTrust shining moment. Here's Freeman. He has an RBI hit already this afternoon. 82 runs knocked in for the Braves first baseman. Y'all hearing his name bandied about at all in the MVP conversation in the National League?
You should. It is in this booth.
I haven't heard a whole lot of MVP conversation.
Look at the National League batting leaders. A lot of guys are really bunched up. I mean, Paul Goldschmidt leads the league in homers and RBIs. Chris Johnson leads the league in hitting. Freeman's 10th there. 4th in RBIs. And now a shot toward left that's caught by Harper. Terrific running catch to rob Freeman of a gapper.
Slicing back to him, and that helped. But boy, that was a good play and a big play for Gio Gonzalez. Oh, it's hit a little deeper than he expected. He had to change directions too. Remember, he was a catcher in high school, and he got all the attention as such a good high school player.
Gaddis 27 today. Into a double play in the Braves first inning. Yeah, I mean, hearing Andrew McCutchen of the Pirates, Goldschmidt in Arizona, Freddie Freeman here with the Braves.
Goldschmidt and McCutcheon are legit. They should be in the conversation.
Me too.
There are some in Los Angeles who are saying Puig and or Hanley Ramirez and or Clayton Kershaw. The Dodgers, who've won 42 of their last 50 games.
Kershaw's ERA continues to go down, and he's certainly a viable Cy Young candidate if things continue, but that ought to be the pitcher's award.
One commentator I heard today when the candidacies of Puig and or Hanley Ramirez were brought up said, well, I don't know if you can give the award to two guys who are going to play roughly half the year. Well, if that's the case, how can you give it to Kershaw, who's going to pitch in 32 games? As dominant as he's been.
Well, there is a precedent for that, and a recent one in Verlander, the American League. It's just that I've always been an advocate of an MVP and a Cy Young being for separate entities. Cy Young is a most valuable player award in its own right, in my opinion. Most valuable pitcher.
Haven't fouled that at the plate. Full count.
When you get in the box with Gio Gonzalez, you better be ready to hit. He doesn't take much time, doesn't give you a lot of time to take a bunch of practice swings. Good swing. Huh. He hit that ball right on the button when he hit into that double play in the first inning. Almost got it right through the legs of Tracy. Good swing there.
Runner goes, swing and a miss. And Suzuki was interfered with by Gaddis, who stumbled on his follow through, and no chance for Suzuki to make the throw to second base, and Wally Bell is going to call out Gosselin as well.
Smart on Suzuki's part to just attempt to throw too.
So a strike him out, throw him out double play with interference as well, and we're through 3 in Atlanta. Ubers by Delta Airlines and by Ford. Fourth inning rolls around in Atlanta. It's 2-0. The Braves are in front. And it's time for our AT Uverse trivia question. Eric Kendall's on our crew. It's his final day before he heads off to Fox Sports coverage of college football. And this was Eric's question for us today. 6 former Expos are on the active 40-man rosters today, including 2 from today's matchup. Can you name them?
Wow. So it's just players, not coaches, right?
That's downstairs to Chad Tracy. 1 ball, 1 strike. I think Roger Bernardino's one of them.
He would be one of my guesses.
He's the longest tenured national.
Going back to their days when they were the Expos, too. Zimmerman, I think, was their first draft pick as the Washington franchise. Fly ball center. That's playable for BJ, who's back a few steps. Now in a couple. 1 out.
Umpires from all around Braves country are invited to umpire night at Turner Field on Sunday, September the 1st. Participants will take place in a clinic run by former Major League Baseball umpire Randy Marsh, a pregame parade, and more. Visit Braves.com/umpire night for more details.
I think Scott Downs was an Expo also.
He was. The Cubs traded him for Rondell White. And Suzuki with a line drive to left. Gaddis will catch that one. And Tehran 1 out away from a much needed 1-2-3 inning.
While we wait for Gio to get to the plate, I want to give a shout out to a big Braves fan, Mr. Bill Stone of Johnson City, Tennessee, who's got a big battle on his hands, and we know it. We appreciate him tuning in every night. Never misses a game, and we wish him all our best.
Gio Gonzalez tried to bunt last time and popped out to Freddie Freeman. Tehran quickly ahead of him. 0-2. See who's going to catch this one. Middle of the lower bowl. And Gonzalez back to work. 0-2. Another pop for Freeman in foul ground. And he has it. Much needed inning. 8 pitches for Tehran, his first 1-2-3 frame of the day. Last of the 4th, 2-0 Atlanta. those folks from London, England to Turner Field. We arranged perfect weather for you. It's 2-0 after 3.5. All year long, Braves baseball on Fox Sports South is being presented by Academy Sports and Outdoors. The right stuff, the low price every day. Johnson, Laird, and Turdoslavich are up for the Shock Troops today. The Braves struck for 2 runs in the first inning. Freeman an RBI hit. Chris Johnson an RBI hit. Slow roller left side. Desmond. Strong arm gets his man. 1 out.
Time for Georgia Power Energy tip number 3. Dale Murphy. Stay comfortable this summer and save money with Georgia Power's energy efficiency programs. Learn more at georgiapower.com/save. But Murph's watching today, and as long as he's back from his trip to Europe, remember last time he was with us, he was headed to Germany to take part in some of the international programs that Major League Baseball has set up over there.
Yeah, he didn't tell us when he was coming back, did he?
Nope. So I bet he had a great time if they actually did get to go to Amsterdam. He was talking about that. He'll love it there.
Quick strikes to Gerald Laird, who came off the disabled list a week ago. And Gio Gonzalez strikes him out on 3 pitches. And he's retired the first 2 in the inning. Gio has not pitched bad baseball against Atlanta. He just hasn't had any luck or run support.
5 of his starts, he's had 1 run or less. So his run support for the year has been down, and that's really been the case against the Braves.
When this unbalanced schedule came into effect, Tommy, and you're facing somebody in your division so many times, this is, for example, his 5th start today against Atlanta. Advantage or disadvantage for the pitcher?
I think a disadvantage.
I would agree.
The more familiar they become with you, and then you play mind tricks on yourself. I think you got to make adjustments every time you see them, and
start trying to do too much guessing. A lot of improvement in the last 2, but not in the win column.
Balls and a strike. Here's where Gonzalez ranks among left-handed pitchers by wins.
21 of those last year. That's a good company.
That's our Academy Sports and Outdoor leaderboard. A full count for Turdoslavich, who walked in the 2nd inning. And he takes strike 3 call. Wally Bell's moving the game along. 6 strikeouts for Gio Gonzalez. The rain has stopped. That's good news. The better news is Atlanta leads by 2. Right now, the rain is all but stopped. But another damp day at Turner Field. It's rained in Atlanta 7 of the last 10 days.
Well, even on the 3 days where it didn't rain, and I still find that hard to believe. There was no sunshine.
So far, so good for Julio Teheran. He's scattered 3 hits. And the top of the order greets him in the 5th inning. Span has one of those hits, a leadoff single.
I don't know how the Nationals feel if you polled them, but just on the outside looking in, I would have to think that they've got to be disappointed with Denard Span this year and what they hope to get from him and what they hoped that he would provide to them leading off. They really didn't have a leadoff man the last couple of years. But a .311 on base percentage and .260 average. I think they expected a little more.
Yeah, he's played great defense for him, but certainly has not been that catalyst I think that they were hoping they were going to get at the top of their lineup.
What's so odd about Span's year is that historically he's hit left-handed pitching better than he's hit righties. But that hasn't been the case this season, nor has it been for the entire Washington club. While Teheran, of course, a right-handed pitcher, with all the lefties you see in this division, that's a noticeable weakness that's been exploited for Washington this year.
And that's a bit of a surprise for their club because they're not left-handed heavy in their lineup. Span, LaRoche, Harper, but Span hasn't played every day. He's been hurt. Harper's been hurt.
Two balls, 2 strikes. Popped up, shallow right. Gosselin is out. Turk Doslovich is in. 1 away. Delta Airlines, proud sponsor of the Atlanta Braves, will jump aboard our Delta charter tomorrow afternoon and hit the road to New York and St. Louis. Chan, look it up for us. The rainy month of August. Only 7 days where there was no rainfall recorded at the airport so far this month. Which brings to mind one of George Carlin's great lines. I don't know why they give you the rainfall amounts at the airport. Nobody lives at the airport.
I was going to say, we used to hear those all the time as players. Oh, it's not raining at the airport. Well, we're not playing at the airport, so what does that matter?
That's hit hard and foul to left by Rendon. A ball and 2 strikes.
The other one was your dad would get a report on a day that had threatening weather, and boy, they said it's just pouring down rain in Alpharetta. Good thing we're not playing there.
Right.
I sent out a tweet before the game about when did I move to Seattle, and that's made a lot of folks in Seattle mad. I've gotten a lot of nasty responses.
Really?
Really?
Yeah.
Huh. Well, I lived there for 4 years, and I get it.
Yeah, who dumped vinegar in their latte this morning?
I don't know. I mean, I got people tweeting me that they only have so many days of rain during the year, and so I mean, I don't know. Perception is reality, I think, right?
Mm-hmm. When I first moved here, though, I had someone tell me that there's more annual rainfall here than in Seattle, and I didn't believe him. It's just that it kind of comes in gushers here, and Seattle is just a steady one.
2 balls, 2 strikes.
And I just saw a note on the big screen a moment ago about Anthony Rendon that the Braves drafted him out of high school and were unable to sign him. Went to junior college, I believe, and then on to Rice University.
I know we've all said it, but I like this kid. He's a good looking player.
Strike 3 outside corner. Rendon is out number 2.
Good hook today, hasn't he?
He has.
Harper's 1 for 2 today. And he smacks that ball into the right field corner. That'll bounce off the fence. Radoslavich, his throw is going to be late. Bryce Harper has singled and doubled and is aboard for Jason Worth.
Fans can boo him all they want, and you know they're going to, because they're going to be loyal to Julio Teheran and all the events that happened in Washington. But this dude can hit, and he's got a quick bat. That ball jumped off his bat into the right field corner.
Well, fellas, Chan looked it up. I think Chan's
bored.
Well, either that or he's auditioning for a job with the Weather Channel. But he found out the rainfall totals of Seattle versus Atlanta.
This may get Tom off the hook.
Yeah. The Seattle year-to-date precipitation through August 15th was 18.32 inches. The rainfall in Atlanta so far in 2013 is 45.8 inches.
This is an off year.
Well, they're in a drought in Seattle, aren't they?
Yeah. I mean, 3 years ago, we would have, or 4 years ago, we would have been begging for 45 inches of rain.
There's a strike to Worth. 1 ball, 1 strike. Yeah, in 2007, only 31 inches of rain in Atlanta. Blown past that.
This month, I think.
Feels like it, doesn't it? There's a shot toward left. Can Gaddis catch it? Yes, he can on the warning track. Fine running catch. Robs Worth of an RBI chance, and Teheran is out of the 5th inning scoreless. Giannis Tehran and B.J. Upton are coming up. Giannis took a called third strike in the Braves' second inning. And he takes a strike. Braves have set their rotation for the next road trip. They had to shuffle things around with the long game last night. The first two to pitch will be Beachy and Alex Wood against the Mets. Then in order in St. Louis, Minor, Medlin, Tehran, and Beachy. And there's another pitcher with good news to report, and that's Paul Maholm, who looked good in his first rehab start last night. Paul gave up a run in 5 2/3 innings. Fly ball off the bat of Giannis to left. That'll be playable for Harper. Has it, 1 out.
Chip getting set for that trip to New York City. Braves and Mets series begins Tuesday at 6:30 Eastern. Man, they move fast in the city, don't they? Our Delta on deck. You mentioned the shuffling of the rotation, so it'll be Beachy followed by Wood. Mets will send Wheeler Tuesday and Nice on Wednesday. It'll be a quick trip with a day game on Wednesday. Mets playing 500 balls since the break, 500 against the Braves this season at 7-7.
What a job Terry Collins has done in New York, considering all that he's had to deal with. And they're playing without David Wright, who's out with bad hamstring.
Isn't Parnell laid up a little bit too, or he may be back by now, but they had to use someone else to close in recent days.
Swing and a miss for Julio Tehran. 1 ball, 2 strikes. And if you're looking for breaks, the Braves are going to miss Matt Harvey in that series. Harvey's scheduled to pitch tonight or later today against San Diego. He's 2-2 in 5 starts after the All-Star break, but the Mets have scored a run or less in 3 of those 5 starts. Tehran is down swinging, 2 outs, 7 straight retired by Gonzalez.
Hey, it's still a shutout, guys, because of a good play here by Evan Gattis to end the last inning. When that ball came off the bat of Jason Worth, I thought that was going to hook into the corner for a double. Only one little route change there to get a little deeper, but he made a nice running catch. Big man can get moving.
Yeah, I don't think that ball hooked as much as it looked like it was going to coming off the bat.
1 ball, no strikes. Hey, Ryan Sandberg's on the board. Now with a win, the Phillies scored their first 2 runs for him today. They're trying to beat Ricky Nolasco and the Dodgers and wrap up at Citizens Bank Park. The Dodgers have thrown 2 shutouts at the Phillies in the first 2 games. It's 2-2 in the 7th. Pittsburgh and Arizona tied 2-2 in the 8th at PNC Park. Pittsburgh score of interest for the Braves, as is that Dodgers score, because Atlanta leads both of those clubs by 2 1/2 games for the best record in the league, and that is an important race. We'll follow over the final 40 games.
Okay, here you go.
Okay.
Positive.
Average annual rainfall, according to Living in Seattle or Seattle.gov, so it's obviously a biased sample, Tom. Atlanta gets 48.6 inches of rain. Seattle gets 38.6 inches of rain.
Okay, how about average days of sunshine?
Oh,
there.
Seattle 38.6.
He's trying to find a little ray of hope.
All I know is I went there one time in interleague play, and everybody was ecstatic because we saw the sun 2 out of 3 days. I mean, just saying.
3-2 pitch, and a swing and a miss. That is 8 strikeouts for Gio Gonzalez. Game's moving along, and it's an official game. We're through 5 with a 2-0 lead. Sun's trying to peek through at the ballpark. It's brightened up considerably. As we've completed 5 innings with a 2-0 lead. Braves baseball on Fox Sports South is being presented by Academy Sports and Outdoors. The right stuff, the low price every day with Joe Simpson and the future mayor of Seattle, Tom Glavine. I'm Jim Carey. Glavine trying to take 2 out of 3 from the Nationals today. While we have a moment, let's check back in with our AT Uverse trivia question. 6 former Expos are on the active 40-man rosters, including 2 from today's matchup. Can you name them?
I'm going to go with Downs, and I really want to say Luis Ayala, but I'll go with your guys on Bernardino.
I like that too.
I'm going to go Ayala and Downs, just to cover our bases here.
Well, we're never going to know.
Good call.
It is Luis.
I miss the Expos, don't you?
That was one of those towns that I used to hate going to initially, and then it really grew on me. I loved it.
Right?
Yeah.
Think of how different the baseball landscape would look had the Expos been able to get the ballpark downtown.
Well, they had a neat one drawn up. Remember that?
Yep. 37, 38, much like the Marlins ballpark without the garish artwork and I think the retractable roof. It's going to be right behind where the Montreal Canadiens play in downtown Montreal. But the Expos became the Nationals, and then there were all the franchise swaps with John Henry and Jeffrey Loria and the Red Sox and the Marlins. And all of that. And there's a movement afoot in Montreal, guys, to try to maybe rekindle some major league interest there. Warren Cromartie, who used to play with the Expos, is very much involved in that. Don't know if it'll ever happen, but hey, you never know. Ground ball to first off the bat of LaRoche on a 3-1 count. He'll be out number 1 for Tehran in the 6th.
You may be interested to know that there are other guys that are on some rosters that are former Expos. In addition to Ayala and Downs, Jamie Carroll, now with Kansas City. Indy Chavez is with Seattle. Bruce Chen, former Brave. Bartolo Colon, Brendan Harris. Brendan not currently on an active roster. Meiser is Turris with Toronto. And recently released Ted Lilly and John Roush, who I don't believe is on an active roster either. I think Roush is on the DL Baltimore.
1 ball, no strikes. I don't know if this is a fair statement to make, but it seems, as see FP Santangelo, he's a former Expo, working the game with Bob Carpenter on the Nats. But it seems to me that in the 80s and 90s, the Expos were a lot like the Braves as far as player development was concerned. They always had a great pipeline of young talent. Desmond drives this ball to right and deep, and Terdoslavich a running catch.
Good adjustment by Joey. That ball was slicing, and he had to go back to his right a little bit right there to make that catch. Good play. Shock Troops got it working today.
They do got it working. Flashing some leather out there.
Gaddis with a good catch. Now Terdoslavich a fine grab as well, and 2 outs for Chad Tracy. Let's see if anybody can catch this one. BJ's not going to get there. It'll bounce off the fence. Barehanded grab. Here comes his throw towards second, and Tracy beats the round. He's 2 for 3 in a start for Washington at third base. And again, the tying run potentially comes to the plate.
3 hard hit balls this inning. Pitch count closing in on 100. Have to get a quick out here and see if they can nurse him through the 7th inning without too many pitches.
Suzuki is the catcher and is hitless 0 for 2. And that's high. 1 ball, no strikes. Suzuki turns 30 on October 4th. He came over last August from the Oakland Athletics. Here's will take the bat out of his hands and go after Gio Gonzalez. Same dilemma for Davey Johnson. You know, he doesn't want to yank his pitcher even down 2 runs after all the extra inning work last night.
Yeah, it's a curious move that you don't see happen too often in baseball by putting the tying run on base. But Gio 0 for 2 today, a couple of pop outs, and he's 5 for 41 on the year. He does, however, have a homer.
So 2 on, 2 out again for Tehran. He protects a 2-0 lead. And the first pitch is popped up. Third base side, Chris Johnson near the rail. He won't have a play. Nothing else for Washington. They clear their pitcher. Tehran over 100 pitches now. See if that's advantageous for Washington. That's low and outside. 1-1 the count.
Gio's not swinging and missing. No, he's popped up a few, but he's just fouled that one back, but he's getting wood on it.
See if he gets the equalizer here. Breaking ball.
Here's where you want action. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
So Gerald tapping the ground, but he overthrew it.
Yeah, I think that was let me hurry up and make this pitch and get this inning over with.
That nearly hit Gonzalez, and that's 2 straight that have missed the target badly.
Two in a row that he is really overcooked.
The sun peeks through. 3-2 pitch. Runners go, and a swing and a miss. Tehran pitches out of 6th inning trouble. That's his 5th strikeout. The Nationals have stranded 9 men and trail by 2. The sun peeks through in Atlanta as the Braves come up for the bottom of the 6th inning. It's a sunny day for Julio Teheran, who's over 100 pitches, and fellows a 2-0 lead.
So far, so good for Teheran, who's had to work around a lot of base runners today, but he's given the Braves 6 strong innings, 5-hit shutout working, and those 2 runs in the first inning. The only across for Atlanta, but good defense behind Julio today, too.
Yes. Teammates have been helping him out. A couple jams in the first 2 innings, a big jam he got out of that last inning, and in between it was really good. So he's done what the Braves have needed him to do today.
Now let's keep an eye on Gio Gonzalez. He looked like he hurt himself a little bit on that last swing. Maybe the last 2 swings he took. Or even on the pitch where he's trying to get out of the way of that fastball. Right here, watch him kind of grab his side. We'll keep an eye on that as he works into his 6th inning.
Phil Gosselin's got a perfect day at the plate. He's 2 for 2. His first big league hit was a bunt single in the first inning. He scored on Chris Johnson's hit, and then he lined a single into center in the Braves' 3rd. Popped up, and no play for Adam LaRoche. A breaking ball struck out Gosselin, and that's out number 1. Let's check in with Tom Hart.
Chip, you can pass down the tradition of Braves baseball at Grandparents' Day on Monday, September 2nd at Turner Field. Participants in this event receive a discounted ticket, free fan photo picture, commemorative frame, and more. Visit Braves.com/grandparents. Call 404-614-2382. And special guests here today, Ed and Flo. They've arrived like butterflies. Freddie's grandparents watching. We're talking about Canadian baseball last half inning. Ed told me a fun story about Sean Green, the longtime Blue Jay and Dodger. He played at Tustin High School in Southern California. While Freddie was playing in that same diamond, Sean Green's relatives pointed out to Ed that Sean hit a home run that hit the apartment complex.
Line drive to center, and Span can't catch it. The ball's behind the National center fielder, and Freddie stands at second with 1 out.
And wouldn't you believe it, if Sean Green hit a home run that hit the apartment complex, moments later Freddie hit one that cleared the apartment complex. So obviously Grandpa Freeman already well versed in trash talking other grandparents.
That's the way to quiet them.
Double for Freeman. He's got a 2-hit day today and continues to punish left-handed pitching. Here's Gaddis. He's hit into a double play and struck out into a double play with interference thrown in for good measure. And nice stop by Suzuki. 1 ball, no strikes.
Suzuki did a great job for the Nationals last year in their drive to the National East title and help get them in the playoffs by handling their pitching staff and doing things like this, blocking pitches. Did a pretty good job with the bat too, but a very underrated player on their team.
Toward third. Ball takes a friendly hop for Tracy. And Gaddis is retired. No advance by Freeman, and that's the 2nd out. Braves bullpen is busy. Might be 6 and out for Tehran, who has had a lot of stressful innings. In fact, he had only one 1-2-3 frame today. Swing and a miss by Chris.
Third run would be awfully nice. Chris provided that extra run in the first inning with that little Ric Flair to right. Maybe he can do it again.
Another stat that you may not be aware of. We talk all the time about how good Freddie Freeman is at driving in runs with 2 outs. He's got 34 of those 2-out RBIs. The man that's second on the team is the man in the batter's box, Chris Johnson. He added his 28th in the first inning today.
I bet you half of them were counts that were pitchers' counts too.
And hitting 8th.
Yeah,
a lot of the season too. I mean, terrific story. Chris Johnson has a good count to play with now.
And a base open. Don't expect him to give in here.
Full count.
Perfect pitch. 94. Wow, that's about as hot as he has been today.
Spoiled that pitch to stay alive. And Gio Gonzalez at the 100 pitch mark. He'll have the top of his order up in the 7th. Bouncing ball up the middle. Desmond behind the bag. Gets there. And that retires the side. Freddie Freeman doubles and is left stranded, and we head to the 7th. Through in Atlanta, the rain has stopped, and the winning continues for Atlanta. A couple of changes now for you. Jason Hayward has entered the lineup. He checks into his customary spot in right. Joey Dragoslavich moves from right to left. That means Evan Gaddis is out of the game, and Julio Teheran's out of the game as well. Scott Downs answers our first AT call to the bullpen.
Scott picked up a win in the extra inning win Friday night against the Nationals, and then last night he worked the 7th, struck out a couple of guys. 1-2-3 inning, and one of the guys he struck out will be Manny faces first, Denard Span.
.105 pitches for Julio Teheran today. Braves can hold this lead. He'll win his 10th game of the season. Julio's certainly deserving of Rookie of the Year consideration. Yes, he is still considered a rookie. He's got 9 wins right now. Hyun-Jin Ryu of the Dodgers has 12. Shelby Miller of the Cardinals has 11. At the top of the order, Span, Rendon, and Harper versus Scott Downs.
The Braves didn't get 7 innings out of Teheran, but they got 6 shutout innings. That'll work.
Ball 1 to Denard Span. Right back where it came from. So a couple of singles for Denard Span. And again, the Nationals bring the potential tying run to the plate.
The sports and highlights show you've been waiting for is here. Fox Sports Live, as Jay Onright and Dan O'Toole are joined by Donovan McNabb, Gary Payton, Andy Roddick, and Carissa Thompson to bring you everything you need to know about the world of sports. Fox Sports Live airs nightly on Fox Sports 1.
Joe mentioned earlier that this kid Rendon was drafted by the Braves. 26th round back in 2008. He was drafted by Roy Clark, who was the Nationals vice president of player personnel. At the time, Roy was the Braves director of scouting. The Nats got him in the first round 2 years ago.
It's a good point, though. Roy certainly still had his eye on him even after he went to college, and I'd say he did a good job, or Rendon made a good choice of going to college, going from the 26th round to the first round.
I'll say.
Anthony's out of Houston, Texas, born in Richmond, Texas. Double play ball. There's one. But Rendon outran the baseball to first. Atlanta gets the lead runner. Span's retired. Rendon at first for Bryce Harper. It's another lefty-lefty matchup. Harper, the Rookie of the Year last year. Won't turn 21 till October 16th. And so really is still learning his way as a professional player, much less a major league player. And one of the things I'm sure he'll try to improve is his work against lefties. We talked about that a lot in this series. One ball, one strike. As a left-handed pitcher, how would you attack Bryce Harper?
Yeah, I think he's pretty standard lefty in terms of lefty on lefty. You got to be careful bounding in. You got to be careful up and away. You got to, hard up and in, soft down and away, and stay out of that middle of the plate. This game, you hear it all the time. It's a game of adjustments, and clearly left-handers have figured a little something out against him this year. So he's going to have to spend some time figuring out what his counter adjustment is to what they've done to him over the course of this year.
And Harper's in the lineup, so you have to assume he's as healthy as you can be this time of year, and that is to say he's probably not 100%. But it has been an injury-filled year for him, and his season really was derailed here in Atlanta when he slammed into the fence trying to catch a home run off the bat of Tim Hudson.
That and a face plant in Los Angeles.
Yeah, I forgot about that one.
Well, that's all part of it. You got to learn to play through that. I mean, 100% is a relative term. Right. Not a lot of guys 100% coming out of spring training, so you just learn how to deal with it.
A 1-2 pitch to Harper. Moves him off the plate. And now it's 2-2.
Just don't make a mistake middle in with the breaking ball. And if you go for the strikeout here and you throw the breaking ball, just make sure it's down, even bounced or out away from him.
Yep, got to be down or finish off the plate away.
He flinched. Well, the pitch too far inside, I suppose. And now it's a full count.
Well, he got away with it. Threw it inside, but he didn't get the call.
I don't think he was trying to do that, but that's if you can do it, that's an effective pitch. Start that breaking ball at that front elbow. And as many times as Bryce has been hit, it's hard not to flinch.
And Downs lost Harper. So the tying runs are on now. And Jason Worth is in the on-deck circle, and Freddie Gonzalez will go get Scott Downs. Hottest hitter in the league perhaps is Jason Worth, and he's got a chance to do some late inning damage. 2 on, 1 out in the 7th inning. Downs' day is done. We'll tell you who's on to pitch after this. By Toyota and by Sherwin-Williams. The Nationals trying to threaten in the 7th inning. They have 2 on and 1 out. Leo Teheran went 6 shutout frames. Scott Downs has put the first 2 base runners on for the Nationals here, and he'll give way now to David Carpenter.
You know what? David has been a workhorse. He's been in 11 of 16 games this month. And on this homestand, he's been in 6 of the 9. This is the 6th game out of 9. Struck out the side last night. That was in the 9th inning. Bottom of the order then.
If you like power matchups, here you go in the 7th. Worth is scorching hot. Carpenter's got a mid-90s fastball. First batter faced, such an important stat for a relief pitcher. David's retired 21 of 36 first batters, and only 5 of 16 inherited runners have scored against him. First pitch popped up by Worth, strike 1 to the Nationals right fielder.
Nationals 0 for 11 today with runners in scoring position.
Line drive right center field. That's a base hit. Worth comes through and cuts the lead in half, and the Nationals have him at the corners with 1 out. Jason Worth is single-handedly keeping the Nationals afloat in the playoff race.
Well, he almost got him on the board his last at-bat. That line drive into left field that Evan Gattis ran down, but nobody's running that one down. He decided to go the other way that time and shot one in the right center field gap.
He went up there looking for nothing but fastball and geared up for it.
Smart hitter with good results. That run is charged to Downs, and Worth now with a 10-game hitting streak is at first base. Tying runs at third, and it's Bryce Harper. Here's LaRoche. He was on the fastball and fouled it back. Pitch. Strikeout would be nice. 0-2 for Adam. It's a little low. First final is in from the American League. The Tigers win again. They beat Kansas City. Max Scherzer, his 18th win.
Wow, what was he, 18-1 or something?
And Miguel Cabrera hit another homer.
Goodness.
He walked off last night with a line drive down the right field line for Detroit. Now with 73 wins. Cabrera started the day with 117 RBIs. There are 40 games to play. Thereabouts. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Flared a good stop.
At him 0-2. Now where do you go?
Well, they've had some success against him in this series with the 3-2 off-speed pitch. I don't know if Carpenter's got the confidence to throw that pitch or try and go something hard in on his hands.
That's what they call for.
Worth is running, and LaRoche lasers one foul into the seats. Again, Worth runs. LaRoche swings and misses. Throws on target and in time.
Man, what a play. What a huge play by Gerald Laird.
Strike him out, throw him out, and we stretch in Atlanta with the Braves up a run. It's now a 2-1 game as we join Timothy Miller for God Bless America in Atlanta.
That's free. Let us all be grateful
for land so fair.
As we raise our voices in a solemn prayer.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with a light from above. From the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans, white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls.
By Hyundai, by Georgia Power. by Ram Trucks and by AT&T. What a play by Gerald Laird. He and David Carpenter combined for the strike him out, throw him out double play. LaRoche struck out, Worth thrown out, and that preserves the lead for the Braves here in the last of the seventh. And Laird with a bunt back to the mound, and a low throw by Gonzalez gets his man for the first out. Gio giving the Nationals exactly what they hoped to get. What he was hoping for was some offense. He's only gotten one run again against Atlanta.
He's got his one run, but right now it's not enough.
Not showing any ill effects from that swing in his last at bat either.
Yeah, I've seen him pitch a few times against the Braves and it hasn't been good, but he's been pretty impressive today.
A good fastball. As high as 94 from what I've seen. I'm not sure that there's been one higher than that.
Joey took a strike. It's 3-1. A one-out walk for Tudoslavich. Janish and then Jason Hayward. It's 3 bases on balls for Gonzalez. And Tudoslavich will be taken down for a pinch runner. Jordan Schaefer will come on. Also stay in the game defensively, figure. A nice run to add on here. Let's see if Janish can fill a hole on the right side. Schaefer's got a big lead.
Don't try to do too much here if you're Paul. You got Jason hitting behind you now, and you instead of the pitcher, and with the slot open on the right side, try to take a shot at right field. That last swing looked like he was trying to pull the ball, got fooled on an off-speed pitch.
Away for an even count. Pirates and Diamondbacks are now in the 11th inning. That's 2-2 at PNC Park. Schaefer's running. The pitch is low. Suzuki's throw to second is going to be late.
Good jump. A little bit of a tough throw for a tough pitch for Suzuki to throw on. A good crossover step here by Jordan to get going. And a good call. Tag was on his hip.
I'm assuming that would be one of the reviewable plays we might see next year under the new replay system. It's still in progress. Dr. John Schuholtz, who was on the committee, maybe head of the committee, Tony La Russa and Joe Torre.
Suzuki and Gonzalez are getting practice in. They go out and talk. Give the other guys a chance to go watch the replay.
Yeah.
So now 2 balls and a strike for Giannis with Schaefer in scoring position. Inside corner, full count.
It's okay. Got another one to play with. Paul might have been thinking middle of the plate away to try to go to right field and got busted in. 3-1 count. That's the time to guess or look for a pitch in a certain area.
Nationals bullpen is busy. Drew Storen is up and throwing. Jordan Walden in the Braves pen.
You would assume Roark and Stammen not available for their pen today. Another good swing. Their outfield, especially in center and right, very shallow for Giannis. And 3 real good back-to-back swings for Paul.
Lead at second for Jordan. Full count pitch again to Giannis. Braves lead 2-1 in the 7th, and now time called.
This is the 10th pitch of the at bat.
Schaefer's going to try for third, and the throw's not going to beat it. Giannis walks, and runners are at the corners now. Hayward in the batter's box.
Good jump again. The throw just enough into foul territory to give him room to get in there. I'd say his ankle is feeling just fine. Some
contact, you might get a third run. Hayward's average on the rise. He's at 258 with 13 homers and 37 knocked in. And much of that has come with excellent work against left-handed pitching. 2 homers last night. 6 consecutive multi-hit games, 7 multi-hit games in the last 9 overall. Ground ball towards second. They may have to hurry, and they do. A double play ball off the bat of Jason Hayward, and the Braves' 7th inning threat is by the boards. We go to the 8th. 2-1 Atlanta the lead.
In relief last night fits perfectly into Beachy's plans.
Just because of the way it fell, I don't really have to change anything. You know, I was going to throw my bullpen today anyway. Still going to throw it today. You know, now I just have the normal 1 day in between instead of 2. I was looking at 2 off days in between my 2 starts. So, you know, having only 1 extra day isn't a big deal.
It'll be Alex Wood and Jonathan Neese in the finale on Wednesday afternoon. Then Beachy will go again the finale against the Cardinals in St. Louis before that next open date.
Tommy's been getting better every time out, too.
Yeah, he has. He's looking stronger, a little bit more confident both in the fact that his arm is okay and in terms of his ability to make pitches on a repeated basis. So, yeah, he's definitely going in the right direction, and that's great news for the Braves and for the staff.
Jordan Schaefer stays in the game. He'll play left field. And on to pitch for Atlanta is Jordan Walden. And he starts off Ian Desmond with a breaking ball for a strike. 6, 7, 8 hitters are up for Washington. 2-1 the Braves lead.
Last night, the first night that Walden had pitched in a week after getting hit with that line drive. And his stuff was good. He was throwing plenty hard enough. Just gave up a homer to Zimmerman. I expect him to be really good today, knowing that his hand's all right. 1-run game, no late. Always good to get that first guy.
Full count. .95 and barely tipped. Swing and a miss. Didn't get the breaking ball. Nice rally by Walden. He gets the first man in the 8th. One man down.
Like he chased a bad ball too. That would have been ball 4.
Yeah, when you're throwing 95, you got to cheat a little bit sometimes to get to it, and that's he kind of committed to that being a fastball and breaking ball out of the zone.
Two-hit day today for Chad Tracy. He looks high, ball 1. Popped up. Deep short. Janish puts the squeeze on that. 2 outs. Congratulations to Ryan Sandberg. He just won his first major league game. The Phillies beat the Dodgers. A 3-2 final score. That snaps Los Angeles' 10-game winning streak. Suzuki is the batter. He's 0 for 2 with a walk. Strike. Marlins beat the Giants 6-5. What got into those two teams? There were a ton of runs scored down at Marlins Park between those two clubs. 11 more today. And 10 scored yesterday.
Maybe the roof was open and the shades to the Clevelander were open.
Could be. That's so surprising because that Marlin staff has been so stingy with their runs allowed since the All-Star break, but not so with San Francisco in town. A fly ball to right. Jason Hayward is there, and you're right, Joe. Jordan Walden was very good. 1, 2, 3 and out goes Washington in the 8th. The top of the Braves order comes up, looking for some insurance. Braves, an exciting game last night. Unfortunately, the Nationals won it, and Jason Hayward provided some of the dramatics. He's our Yellowwood Bringing the Lumber feature.
And he did off Rafael Soriano. 93 fastball up and away. And it was out and away. Tie game, went 15 innings. Braves just couldn't muster another run.
So Drew Storen checks in for Washington. Rafael Soriano is the man that served up that game-tying homer, and he's watching from the Nationals bullpen after blowing his last 2 save chances. Gio Gonzalez gave Washington everything he had today. 7 innings, a 5-hit 2-run ball. But his offense, once again against the Braves, has given him how many runs, Tom?
Just a 1 to go.
So Storen versus B.J. Upton in the 8th. Fly ball center. Span drifts back. He'll have room. And B.J.'s the first out.
With the exception of Soriano, both bullpens did a good job last night. The Nationals got stellar performances from Tanner Roark, who worked 4 innings of 1-hit shutout ball. Storen worked 1 inning and struck out the side. Craig Stammen 3 innings of hitless no-run ball. Great work.
The teams combined to use 18 pitchers. There were 33 strikeouts and 513 pitches. 335 of them were strikes.
Seemed like about 30 were.
30 strikes?
Yeah.
Yeah. A little bit of a tight zone.
Mm-hmm.
An unforgettable day today for Phil Gosselin. His first major league start and 2 hits. He also scored a run. Then he shoots one to the right side. That's playable. Rendon throws him out. And 2 away in the Atlanta 8th. Again, after our ball game, we'll present Braves Live. It's brought to you by AT We'll hear from Freddie Gonzalez. It's sound from the locker room. And we'll look at all of today's highlights.
Kimbrel loosening up in the Atlanta pen as you would expect, and the Nationals have 9-1-2 in their order. Move up.
Freeman skies one toward left. And plenty of room out there for Bryce Harper. That retires the side. Here we go to the 9th inning. Atlanta tries to protect a 2-1 lead. good hands team is in there for this top of the ninth inning. Paul Yanish in at second base. Andrelton Simmons checks in. He'll be at shortstop. And Craig Kimbrell's on an amazing roll for Atlanta overall and against Washington. And that's our Ram Trucks power stat.
13 out of 14 in the save department, just a 127 average. I'd say that's pretty good. Last night, an inning, and it was a good inning, but oddly for him, no strikeouts. 2 flyouts and a ground out.
Washington has its full bench available after Gio Gonzalez went 7. And stored a perfect 8th inning. And the first man called on by Davey Johnson is Ryan Zimmerman. Interesting bit of history for Zimmerman. They have a little note in their press notes this date in Nationals history. 3 years ago today, Ryan Zimmerman was ejected for the first and only time in his major league career here in Atlanta. He's arguing balls and strikes, and that led to his early dismissal. And he takes a breaking ball from Kimbrell for a strike. Zimmerman, Span, Rendon, and Bryce Harper working fourth.
We're not going to see him.
Ooh, 98 and straight back.
And he had a good cut.
Breaking ball gets Zimmerman. 1 away in the ninth.
Like you said earlier, Tom, if you're sitting on the fastball and you have a good cut at it, you still got to respect the fastball. It doesn't mean you hit that one.
Yeah, he got his fastball to hit on the pitch before, and Kimbrell came back with the slider. And I don't care even if you're looking for that slider. There's not much you're going to do with it.
Denard Span's had a solid day at the plate, a couple of singles. But when Washington looks back at this game, if it goes the Braves' way, the last column on the scoreboard is the one that's going to make them crazy. They left 10 men on base through the first 7 innings today. And 2 on, nobody out in each of the first 3 innings, and could not score. Bouncing ball up the middle. Yanish dives, scrambles, fires. Freeman couldn't hold the bag.
Paul knew he had to hurry. He made a great stop. And knew he had to hurry to get Span, and just a little wide. He did everything he could, but the right call over there by Jordan Baker.
It's an infield hit, and now Rendon is up. Strike 1 call.
Rendon saw him last night and popped to center. Speaking of center, outfielders playing deep. Be mighty tough to get one over BJ's head right now and still be in the ballpark.
He went around. Strike 3 call.
Two breaking balls and then this.
Yeah, I guess wrong on the last two pitches. And after that second strike, like it was going to be a fastball, it was a slider, and I guess he was looking slider there and took 97 right down the middle.
Bryce Harper was the last out of the game the last time Teheran and Gonzalez matched up. Kimbrel struck him out in the ninth. Famous downstairs here, 1 ball, no strikes. That was also a 2-1 game.
Best breaking ball he's had in probably the last 4 or 5 outings.
Nearly picked off.
Wouldn't that have been sweet?
Ball, 1 strike. Now Craig's 1 strike away from ending it.
Party on that 99. These fans want the win, and they want the win to come at the expense of the last out from Bryce Harper. We have been on him hard all weekend.
Again, a 1-2 pitch. He went! That's your ball game! Bryce Harper called out on a check swing, and the Braves take 2 out of 3 from Washington. Kimbrel saves another one. This time it's Julio Teheran's turn to win. Bryce Harper with an argument with Marvin Hudson as he makes his way to the Nationals dugout.
He went.
And that's how the ball game ends. Kimbrel with 3 strikeouts in the 9th inning, and on appeal, Atlanta beats Washington 2-1. Your final. What a way to end the homestand.